Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Dreamer. So, I hope you guys had a great weekend fulfilling all your earthly obligations. I know that I did. Got a lot more done actually than I thought. But now that that's all done, let's come back more on a cosmic level and share a dream, shall we? Because that's always more fun. So, all right, the name of this dream is going to be called Soul Food with Bashar. It's pretty cool. I don't know if any of you out there know Bashar, but you should YouTube him. He is a pretty cool cat to be hanging out with in a dream. So, all right, let's get started. So, when I first come to, there are glass jars everywhere, and they are just everywhere. I see over to my right my husband, who is standing there, and he is pondering, and he is deciding, and he is being analytical as he does. And I see next to him Bashar. So Bashar was not there to be choosing, no. He was just there to be hanging out or doing what he does, which is just, his presence alone is awesome. Anyways, he's standing there and he gives me a warm smile, and I float in front of them. And I knew instantly which jar was mine. So I went, I grabbed my jar, and then it dawned on me for some reason I thought I was there to be doing a cooking show. Well, my inner child must have come out and started throwing a temper tantrum because I started manifesting sugar in the air, catching it on fire because I was upset. Because I thought, I don't even like cooking in the earthly realm, in the physical realm. So why am I dreaming about cooking here? Anyways, nonetheless, as I'm throwing my little temper tantrum, I happen to look over, and I see Bashar and my husband standing there as peaceful as they are, as calm as they are. And then this little light bulb goes off in my head, and I'm like, oh, my bad. It's not ingredients for a cooking show. It was ingredients for my soul to be doing the cooking show. So then I get excited, okay? And for some reason, there were only 2 ingredients in the jar. And I wanted to know which 2 ingredients were in my jar. I don't know if I chose it or not, but I wanted to see what was in there. So I start fiddling with the lid, and I can't get the lid. It's so typical of me. I can't get the lid. And now I'm becoming more frustrated. Now that inner child just jumps out again, and it just starts throwing sugar in the air. And then I wake up. So that was fun. All right, so from there, I go into my meditative state, and I get all these lovely writings and all these messages. So what comes up for me? All right, check this out. So we all have an inner child. We know that. Some of our inner children are more rambunctious. They're more adventurous, and that's cool. But we know how to tame that child, don't we? We know, okay, the adventures our children love to take us on sometimes, though, can be not so good. And the reason that's happening is because we have not taken, guess what? 5 minutes a day, folks, for us. All right. If you don't have 5 minutes, I get it. No, not really, but let's move on. So we got this inner child. This inner child is screaming for an adventure. Okay. Well, guess what? Guess what you forgot to do? You forgot to feed that inner child. With all children, we have to maintain, we have to nurture them. We have to make sure they're healthy. We have to make sure that they are well balanced. All right. And how do we do that for an inner child? Just because he's not out here physically doesn't mean that we have to ignore their needs. Well, you got to feed the kids, don't you? So let's talk about some soul food for your inner child. Okay. Is it a taco that you like once a month and not 3 times a day? I mean, is it knitting? Is it crocheting? Is it a great book? Well, it's all of those. The good thing is that it doesn't have to involve calories. The inner child just basically wants you to sit for just a moment and feed it some happy thoughts, happy moments. Can you recall something that made you happy? Well, that's what he loves. That's what feeds that inner child. And when that inner child is fed, then they become really healthy. Okay, and so they're not just now going on adventures out of frustration or boredom or worries or doubts or the fact that you forgot all about it. Now it's not making rash decisions. It's making decisions because it's happy and it knows what's right and what's going to be healthy for both of you. So if you can take 5 minutes a day and talk to your inner kid and hang out and feed him again with some happy thoughts, you start allowing that happiness to come through to you on an outside level. But don't forget, folks, that while you're sitting there and you're feeding that inner child with those happy thoughts and those happy moments, don't forget that you have to take care of you on an outside as well. You know, too often we forget that at one point in our lives, we were actually at ease with our bodies. I don't know if you remember the days, but I certainly do. Well, with obligations and constrictions and times and schedules and all of that lovely daily hustle, we, because we never had time, forgot to sit with ourselves, and those eases now became diseases. Say that 3 times. Diseases. And we forget that. You know, it's when that inner child has been ignored long enough that you have to now go back in and sit with it and feed it and find out why your disease now is so painful that unfortunately it took you to get to that level to pay attention to the inner child. So stop throwing a temper tantrum. Your body is meant to walk, stretch, and nurture itself so that you can remain limber. And if you got those aches and pains, sit with yourself for a moment. You might learn something. I hate doing it, but you learn so much. So anyways, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Leave me some comments below. Soul Food with Bashar was wonderful, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go back and hang out with him. But hey, until then, sweet dreams and many blessings.